Let's make sure we're not muted this time. All right. Yeah, it's been a little minute since we've did one of these Trading Sunday Watchlist videos. So here we are, back on the stream and YouTube grind. Just getting this watch list out here, getting it uploaded. I did record an entire watch list last week, and my mic was on mute. And actually, a lot of what I had on my watch was beautiful. But we'll go over that in a little bit. First of all, we'll hop on into the NQ chart, of course, the most important future, the best future trade in my opinion. So here we hop onto the daily chart. Let me just remove my drawings really quickly. Clearly, ever since this tariff announcement, we have been hyper bullish. We are here, and we have just been, creating these lower low or higher lows and higher highs. We just recently broke new all-time highs last week. Um, Although one thing that I will say is that over the past couple months here, every single time that we create a new all-time high, we have dumped right up to all-time high. So right here, create a new all-time high, dumped about 5%, new all-time high, dumped about 5%. Come here, new all-time high, dump about 2%. Most recently, new all-time high, dump about 2%. And then here, previous all-time high. And if we follow the same trend and dump at least 2%, which does allow us to form another higher high, or another higher low, sorry. That still brings us down to this like 24,700, which is very 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 big. Um, so yeah, so I mean obviously this just chart is still just structuring bullish. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So this week, even though we are bullish, I would like to see a little bit of a pullback here. Right now in futures, it looks like we are starting to break above this previous supply here. This which is this previous support. Now flipping resistance, but it looks like we're just reclaiming it here, which does not look good for my short theory. But let's get into the actual watch here on NQ. So NQ, I believe here we can do one of two things. If we keep moving up and we get strong overnight, we test this 25 150, maybe get a reject, get a higher low, and then come up maybe all-time highs, bounce, and we break this 25 200. That is going to be my long trigger for a creation of new all-time highs, with an ultimate target of probably like 25 500, just that next psychological level. Obviously, it's because since that would be an all-time high break, it'd be what's considered a PDM, or a price discovery move. Um, so there's not really anything that you could use aside from maybe like macro fib extensions, or just psychological levels. So first psychological level would be this like 25 250, followed by 25 300, but ultimate one would be 25 500. So that's what I'd be targeting. So in there, like I said, break above, break and hold this 25 200 right here. Come up, like I said, make one of these moves, and that would be my long watch there. For flip side, we would need to get a break of this hourly structure. So same thing, hourly chart here. We got low, high, or actually really high, low, new high, new low. So in order to get some continuation downside, we would have to lose this 24 920. That would be the first level. Um, so the 24 920 would lead us back into like this 24 800 here. with the ultimate target short being this 24,630. For real downside, that is a level that we have to lose. This is going to be that 4-hour and daily high or low here at 24,630. So here on a 4-hour chart, maybe if we don't get this all-time high break, we go down, we break below, maybe retest, bounce a little bit off to 800, break below, bounce, and then this right here is your short watch for continuation lower. So that's pretty much what I'm watching on NQ. Is a break of this 24,920 to go short. I mean, obviously I'm day trading, so pretty much will take 30 points ish, 30, 40, 50 points. Not looking to catch a 300-point move because obviously that's just not sustainable, not realistic. But yeah, so that's what I'm watching on NQ. Either a 25-200 break or a 24-920 break for a move back into the 633. If we lose the 633, 635, we should make a move back into this 25 500, and then this next big level is 24,425. Followed by that is the previous FOMC low, the FOMC from September. This is going to be another critical demand that we got there. So yep, that's my watch on the NQ chart. Let's move on over to ES. ES did create a new all-time high as well, as you can see here. Previous all-time high, a little bit of a rejection. Looks at previous all-time high, a little bit of a rejection, reclaim, retest, a little bit of a manipulation move here. And now here's what gets interesting on ES. ES, makes a little bit more sense in my opinion for continuation downside lower, because we have a clear supply rejection at 6,800, massive psychological level, and we also have what is considered a nice little head and shoulders pattern forming on ES. So say we get another bounce here. I like this 24. And that, if we can see a move like that on ES, that is, that looks good for lower. It really does. I mean, that's a picture perfect head and shoulders. Got the left shoulder here at this 24, or sorry, I'm thinking about NQ, 6780. Got that head at 6800. If we get a little bit of a breakdown bounce, fill out that right shoulder at like 6780, and then for continuation lower, obviously that just looks absolutely beautiful short. But obviously we can reclaim the 6800. That is going to be the top long watch. So we'll go over it again here. Maybe we pull back, reject off 6800, reclaim 6800, and get a move into new all-time highs. But my favorite is to fill out this head and shoulders. So we come down here, bounce, reject off that shoulder, and move lower. But obviously ES, just like NQ, has been structuring higher. It had this previous all-time high here, previous all-time high resistance. We flipped it into support in these last two 4-hour candles on Friday. Held it as support. We even had this support, this resistance over here at 6750 for round numbers, and then we had just a demand bounce. And then, like I said, we had this previous all-time high over here. Turn that into a demand bounce. So overall, we are structuring higher. We do need a pullback. We really do. We need a pullback just for health of the markets. I mean, ever since this tariff announcement high on the S&P 500, we are up 40% in 200 trading days, which is it's pretty unheard of. without any type of pullback at all. But that is what I am watching on the ES chart as well. So next we'll move on to a couple individual names. Nvidia. A lot of people wondering why the market was, or like specifically NQ, was so bullish last week, while there was a government shutdown, and a bunch of people were confused. But this chart right here is going to be the main reason why NQ was so bullish. So in case you guys didn't know, Nvidia holds about 15% of the Nasdaq. So it holds 15% weight. So if Nvidia is super, 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 super strong, it's going to be difficult for the NQ to be weak. And same thing, or if names like Nvidia, Apple, AMD, Tesla, Amazon, like if beta names are weak, it's going to be very hard for NQ to be strong. And like I said, it goes the other way as well. If beta names are very weak, then it's going to be hard for NQ to be strong. So we had this massive, 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 massive resistance here at like 184, 185, and we finally broke out after like what was this over here? It took 2.5 months for us to break out on this Nvidia chart. So obviously when we do break out, it's going to be a massive, massive, massive breakout, and that's kind of exactly what we got here. This massive breakout, even got a retest where you can enter long off that 184. Right, I mean, picture perfect. So now Nvidia, if we can get above 191, look for a move into 200. Honestly, as long as we're above 185, 184 on Nvidia, it's just kind of a long every single dip on this planet. Next, we'll move on. Next individual name we'll talk about is Apple. Apple, again, if you look at this weekly chart, uh, just extremely, extremely bullish. Same thing as kind of the rest of the market. Vertical move since the tariff announcements back in March, February, April, and around that time frame. But Apple, if we can get a break above this 260, then we get that all-time high price discovery move. If we can get a 250 bounce, that would also be very nice. So 251, 241 is the ultimate long target on Apple. But anyways, on Apple, but just watch a 260 break and hold for longs, a 251 bounce if we get weak, 241.50 bounce. All of those are extremely, extremely valid. But overall, I'd just be watching longs for Apple and Nvidia, considering how strong the chart is. Go over a couple other ones. We can go with Tesla. I haven't really traded Tesla in a while. Tesla does have some real nice relative weakness compared to the overall market. If you go over here, you look at ES, you look at the daily chart, and then you go on Tesla, and you look at the daily chart for the last 2 days. Where the market was barely up, but it was green. Tesla was down nearly 10%. So market's pushing green, market's pushing highs, and Tesla had a crazy, 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 crazy downside move on Thursday and Friday going to last week. So what do we do there? That means there is relative weakness on an individual name. So what does that make me want to do? It makes me want to look for shorts. If we can get below this 415 and 410, looks good for a move back into like this 402, 400, and that would be what I would watch on Tesla. Amazon, I haven't really paid attention to Amazon, so my levels are probably pretty booty. I mean 216 holding. I mean you got like this 223 and 225. But Amazon, another one like Tesla, where it was pretty like on Friday, that relative weakness is very, 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 very apparent. Almost got rising volume, bearish engulfing. And like I said, you go on to like the NQ chart, go on the NQ chart, and not really the same. Not really the same weakness. Obviously, it's a little bit weak, but yeah. So I mean that's kind of what we're watching. I think that there's a few names that are relatively weak, but overall the market is strong. But I'm a person who would much rather short the market than long the market, just because I think that the short moves happen a lot faster and a lot more aggressive, which as a trader you live for volatility. So yeah, that's it for my watch list for this week. Let's have a great trading week. Make sure everyone stays disciplined. Don't overtrade. Don't over leverage. Don't blow any accounts. Don't do nothing stupid. Today's October 5th, 7 p.m. Futures market just opened. Just because the futures market just opened doesn't mean you go in and you trade 10 minis immediately because you haven't been able to trade in a day and a half. So, but yeah, guys, that's what I'm watching for this week. Let's kill it, and we'll see you guys maybe for some trade recaps or maybe for another watch list next week. Thanks, guys.